Easy episode, bro.
Easy.
Hopefully, get this thing knocked out in 30 minutes or less. That's the goal.
Facts.
Let's see. Oh man. Just waiting for everything to connect on my end. It's taking a second. All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. What is up, everybody? Thank you for joining us here on the Welcome Home Podcast. I'm your host, Famous the Garnet, and I'm joined by my coach Q.
What it do, y'all? What it do?
And in today's episode, we are talking about National Signing Day, early National Signing Day. Who remembers the days? It was just one National Signing Day, but now we have early National Signing Day. Which, Q, I will say, we have all these guys enrolling early. Every single last one of them.
I think it's like 3 that's not. It's like 3 of them that's not.
Yeah, just maybe about 3, but just about. I mean, you look at all these guys that are looking to enroll early, but early National Sign Day has come to a close, and, I mean, there were surprises. There were some surprises in this one. Thankfully, they were all good surprises, nonetheless. Lane Kiffin tried to make it a little interesting towards the end on one of them, which we will discuss. We will discuss that. I can't blame the guy. Lane's going to be Lane. You're trying to do a little late Hail Mary. You had an opportunity to get him to when he was at Ole Miss, but that didn't work. So Q. I mean, let's talk about it, man. South Carolina finishes the class at 15 in the country.
9, and if you're looking at, rating scores, it's 9 in the country.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a top 10 class. 15 when you're just taking the composite stuff. But it was a good class. And it was, I think Shane really did the whole quality over quantity in this. Because if you look at Bill Belichick, who has about 40 recruits that he signed, which, I mean, you're signing the whole team at that point. So what is the point of you going to the portal if that's what you're going to sign on signing day? So to me, when you look at classes that have about 30 players, I don't really see them hitting the portal hard because I don't like Eli Drinkwitz, but Eli brought up a valid point. But before I start all that, shout out to my Founders Day, brothers of Alpha Alpha. Shout out to my brothers, 06 to the good brothers. 119 years. Martin Luther King came through here. Jesse Owens, Thurgood Marshall, all were alphas. And when I say alphas, like these guys actually earned it, becoming an alpha, not just give it to them because they're a name. And Hill Harper, all these guys are famous alphas. And so I just wanted to shout out my fraternity today. 119 years of good work, 119 years staying strong. So shout them out. Shout out to my home team, Sigma Beta chapter. They know what it is. But back to the story at hand. This class was a very good quality over quantity class, FG. And the reason I bring up the quality over quantity portion of this situation is genuinely because we started needing quality over quantity. Now is the time to start getting your quality over quantity. When I'm looking at this class, I'm looking at a lot of guys that are going to make instant impacts. I told you guys last year when we signed the 2025 class, I was pretty adamant and pretty apparent about the depth that class could give. And I felt like they're doing their jobs as a class outside the receiver room, which you had to find some starters in that. This class here, oh boy. When you're looking at two of your 3 offensive linemen being top 5 in their group in the nation.
Yeah.
When you're talking, you're bringing in a safety, two DBs. I want to bring up both DBs in state, and Currents and Lewis, who both played quarterback and safety on their respective schools, and one is still in the playoffs, and the other was a couple plays away from also continuing to be in the playoffs. And I'm talking about little bro Tristan Lewis, which I think Gamecock fans, I gotta really hone in on this one. You need to thank God and like 7 of the disciples that Tristan decided once he got the actual offer that he decided, hey, I'm going to chill and I'm going to go ahead and commit. And when I say that, I really mean that because Tristan's measurables are insane. Mm-hmm. They are absolutely astonishing measurables. On top of that, he does not fear taking a hit. He also doesn't fear giving you a hit.
Mm-hmm.
His tape shows you that. He single-handedly defeated Dorman. How far did Dorman go this year? Well, they just got through losing to Dutch Fork the game before the state title. So that should tell you everything you need to know about what Tristan Lewis brings to the table.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not even just that. Those 2 guys I just mentioned in Tristan Lewis and Javen Kearns, the attitude those guys bring to the table, you didn't see last year.
No.
They're very outspoken.
They are.
Very much going to let you know where their head is in the situation and where they feel the whole team's head should be.
Yep.
One thing this team lacked last year was outspoken leadership. We had leadership, but outspoken leadership is what took that team the year before to where they're at beyond the talent. You have to work beyond the talent now. College football is too much of a even kill sport right now where everybody has talent somewhere on their team. Whether you're looking in G5 all the way up to the best P4 team, everybody has talent. Everybody can get beat any given Saturday. So what's going to change it? Well, coaching is 1. But 2, that leadership among the team. You got to have that kind of leadership, and that's what those 2 guys bring to the table right there. That's what the attitude those 2 guys bring to the table when you're looking at what you're going to need as far as spoken word leadership. So I just addressed those 2 guys. I mean, Darius Gray, he you know who he is. Zion Gillis, listen, y'all. Him enrolling early, that's gonna be dangerous, bro. He gets the proper weight on him. That's gonna be dangerous, bro.
Yeah. No, You brought in a lot of great in-state talent. And by the way, that is 4 of the top 5 that South Carolina ultimately brought in, including Julian Walker from Dutch Fork that we will discuss here in a moment. But we always talk about, Q and I, we always talk about keeping that talent home and why it makes a difference. We've seen it make a difference over the years. Spurrier years, even Muschamp, he had some great guys here. Despite not being able to win with the talent, Muschamp couldn't. That talent was there nonetheless, right? I mean, the talent was there nonetheless. For South Carolina. But
I do agree with that.
You being able to keep top 4 out of 5, which obviously the one that didn't come was Anderson and went to Clemson, which he had to have fans begging for him to get that offer, by the way. That wasn't just a hey, let's throw this out to this kid. He wants to go to Clemson. No, there was a lot more things that went beyond there to get that offer to Clemson to finally offer the kids. So interesting things happen though, of course, right?
The cat that went to Oregon as well.
Yes,
I do want to say he's going to play defensive back when he gets to Oregon. I feel really good where we're at with defensive back, so I can't really say that was a miss when we didn't offer. But on top of one not offering, we had some studs, man. And we'll get to that DB room, but my God, we had some studs on that. It's hard for me to have an issue with that when what we brought to the table was
and quite honestly, Q2, you got to remember that Sequel Patterson was from 27, and he was the best player coming out of that 27 class, maybe outside of course, out there
Dodson.
Dobson, but outside of him, I mean, he was going to be the best player for 27. So you locked him up at wide receiver to come in, which, by the way, that's another kid, Q, put his team on his shoulders in high school football, by the way. Intercepting the ball, catching the ball, little quarterback action.
I'm not going to lie to you. Patterson can come in. He can carve out some playing time.
Oh, yeah.
I just want the record to reflect. Patterson can come in and carve out some serious playing time.
Mm-hmm.
That kid's good. Like, he's good. He's one of those kids. He's one of those guys that can make that difference, bro. I agree with that. I do agree with that. One of my favorite DBs, though, coming out of North Carolina, Barnes. Hey, man.
Yeah.
Hey, man. That's a lockdown corner if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
That's a
Greensboro, North
lockdown
Carolina.
corner. That cat is a
Greensboro, North Carolina.
lockdown corner. So skills-wise, we did really good, man. I was very pleased skills-wise with what we did, bringing in Patterson, bringing in you had Currents, you had Lewis, you have Barnes.
Mm-hmm.
So you had a really good haul when it comes to DBs. And then I look at that defensive line that we brought in, bro.
Lord.
I take time out of my schedule to look at that defensive line that we solidified.
That was a dangerous, absolutely dangerous. And by the way, keep in mind, you had one of your head recruiting guys, you know, at the defensive line position, right? Travian Robertson, who's been battling coming back from the life-changing surgery that he had to have because of that car accident that he was in, which sometimes that can put you behind. But it did not put South Carolina behind with this. Obviously, you locked in the twins, Aiden Harris, right? You locked in Aiden Harris. You locked his brother Andrew Harrison, and then Noah Clark. Do not forget about Noah Clark from Durham, North Carolina. That kid is going to be a beast. Noah Clark is going to be absolutely. It's going to be a problem.
And then late, you add Julian Walker late. You flipped him late. You flipped him with a 4-8 season. You were able to flip him and keep him.
And he's cusp of a 5-star right now, by the way.
Yeah, when the final rankings, if he, I think, the final rankings come out, they do the top 32. So him and Zion will both receive a 5-star at the end of that. If everything holds up.
And Darius continues to be a 5-star in some recruiting rankings right now, Darius Gray. So
yeah.
And I think Sequel was obviously in the 5-star territory for 27, if I'm not mistaken.
That was a steal. For him to move to 26, that was a steal. The kid's good. The kid's good.
So, Q, if you're telling me that after a 4-win season, you're able to keep a top 15, top 10, top 15 recruiting class and 67% of blue chips, and you had, one decommitment, and I was flipped back from Amari, went back to Florida State?
Which we know what happened once again, because I've told you guys I didn't see Blackwell coming back. Anyone that has kept up with it, I've been very upfront and honest, told you guys, wow, FG, I've told you since I want to say the first bye week that I didn't believe he was going to be back. We were told he was not going to be back next year. And so, I mean, you didn't think that. And Carson Baker was not a loss for us. We led, yes, but when it comes down to it, that was money that had to do with change.
You know that, and then also too with Mark, with Blackwell's status, it was asked like, hey, is he going to be retained? Well, probably not. And the next after the day after that,
Texas A&M rolled in.
Yeah, Texas A&M rolled in, and Blackwell is no longer at the University of South Carolina.
It's not.
Which I will tell you this: now that he's gone, Q. I met Coach Blackwell at the airport in Atlanta back when we first hired him. I was coming back from the Senior Bowl, and I met him, spoke with him. I didn't really get that recruiting vibe from him, and I'm like, this is not the best, but we'll see if something can change. And sure enough, I mean, he wasn't able to recruit at South Carolina, and honestly, he may have been worse than Martario Hardesty was, if we're really calling it.
RCA was able to at least get Fuller.
And put a decent rotation in when he had the guys.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Anyways, he's gone. He's no longer at South Carolina. A couple players that South Carolina was kind of looking to flip, trying to make a move on. Obviously,
wait, we forgot one person. We do have one more person we didn't address, and that's the captain of this, Landon Duckworth. I do want to address that situation. What Lane did was typical Lane situations.
Sure.
Lane tried to get Duckworth. He tried to up the ante. He tried to do whatever he wanted to do in the situation. But I will say this, and I mean this with my whole heart. If Landon planned to play within the next 2 years, he was not going to play at the University of the LSU or Louisiana State University. He wasn't.
Right.
Contrary to what people believe, Lane is very high on Van Buren. Very, very high on Van Buren. And Van Buren is only a freshman. He's a redshirt freshman, so he's still at least got 2 more years. He's not going to the draft next year, and he'll probably be there for his redshirt junior year. So, it was going to be challenging for Landon to do that when really here you have Landon that's going to be him and Cutter's world, I believe, after this year. Depending on what's going to happen with this situation with Sellers, I'm a firm believer he's going to be back. The words I've gotten is he should be back, and I think he'll suit up in any other jersey but Carolina, unless he goes pro, which isn't in his best interest at the current moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's talking with several people who are within the NFL industry. They were very adamant about if he leaves, he will get drafted, but he has an opportunity to make things right. Because to be honest with you guys, and I would tell him the same thing, he was not – I'm not saying everything was on him because it wasn't. I mean, Shula did a really bad job. We had really bad development come to the offensive line. But I'm going to be 110% honest with you. Sellers left a lot out there, and he did a lot of things that really harmed this team. And I think Sellers will tell you the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
So
he would.
I think with the people that we're hearing in the background, it would benefit him a ton, in my personal opinion, if he came back. And not just him. It will benefit. You have Landon that's going to benefit from this. I think Cutter's going to do better. I'm intrigued to see if we keep Aaron Nolan around. I am intrigued to see how that plays out.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this class, all 15 guys play an integral role. KJ Johnson, that's the other safety I forgot about. KJ is going to be really good from Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
And KJ Britt is another one that I'm really big on right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really big on, and I'm really thinking it's going to do some good work.
That's Keenan. KJ.
Oh, Keenan Britt.
One in the NFL. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. The one in the NFL. Keenan Britt. He's going to do some good work as well, and I think that's going to be what we need. The team's going to be good.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. One thing I do want to talk about the recruitment with Walker, right? Julian Walker. And this brings up a current Gamecock that people thought was on the way out because he was injured the last few games. And yes, that's Dylan Stewart. You know, Dylan Stewart was battling a hip injury since the Oklahoma game, had back issues. But people kept saying, oh, no, because he's on the way out, he's taking the Juice Wells treatment. Obviously, that's not the case. And throughout this recruitment with Julian Walker, Dylan Stewart has been adamant about being around him during the recruiting process, even more recently when he was in town last time, which was only a few weeks ago. So, by the way, you can take that narrative that you think that Dylan Stewart's going to hop in the portal and take it in where the sun don't shine, because I'm telling you right now, if I was a betting man, the people that think that Nick Harbor, Dylan Stewart, Lenore Sellers are all gone, I'm betting against that theory, and I'm saying they're all coming back, every single one of them. And it starts with 16, of course, number 6, and then Nick Harbor as well. But they're coming back. They're all coming back. If they're not going to the draft, Nick Harbor, Lenore, they're coming back because they're going to get better. Dylan Stewart, obviously he can't get drafted this year. He's coming back. And there's a couple reasons why. Dylan Stewart has never been that one to go after money at a different school. He's been, I promise you that. And not only just Dylan Stewart, but some of these guys in our recruiting class have told Q and I in the interviews that we were nowhere near some of that money that was promised to go play at these other schools.
Which goes back to what Eli Drinkwitz said. Everyone can promise whatever the hell they want to. But I promise y'all this much. There are guys that are not going to get the money that they were promised and going to be in that portal. It's going to be a lot of talent in that portal this year. There's going to be a lot of talent in that portal this year. A lot of talent. So the question remains what we're going to do when that talent gets there.
Well, here's the thing. Shane said playoffs in his presser. He said that's where it needs to be next year. And he knows that. That's probably the expectation at this point. With these expectations, you don't follow through. You know what's going to happen. Is Shane on the hot seat? Absolutely. It's hard to say that he's not after a 4-win season. But can Shane right the ship? As Q and I have said many times, yes, he can. And by keeping this class together as what they've done,
that was a start.
To the portal,
that was a good start. That was a good start.
And shedding, by the way, shedding the dead weight. Shedding the dead weight. That was at South Carolina with Blackwell, Shula, right? You've got a bunch of different hires you need to make on that offensive side of the ball, but it's going to make it a little easier now that you got two positions that you could bring with you if you're an OC somewhere right now. Mm-hmm. Looking at you, Cade Bell. Just saying.
I'm looking at you, Beck.
I'm looking at Beck.
I'm looking at ODU. You got Decker. I'm looking at Decker. If I want Decker or Beck to walk through that door, that's me personally. I want Decker or Beck to walk through the door.
Hey, there's options. But now you have, like I said, another position open that you can fill as the OC to have a little more control about how you're going to run that offense, by the way. And that's what OC is going to look for. That's what they want. They want as much control as they can get. That's the whole. That's the whole point of being an OC. So, I mean, great recruit class for South Carolina because of actually what happened this year. Like I said, you didn't get your guy Zion to flip from Maryland, but we all know he'll probably be in the portal next year after Mike Locksley gets axed, which is going to happen.
I think Maryland set themselves back. That was dumb. Like, that was dumb. I understand with Shane because while, yes, 2 out of the past 3 seasons have been technical losing seasons, Shane also has, out of 5 years, he's won 3 of them.
Yeah.
And so with Locksley, Locksley has not done well at all at Maryland. Like, he's been there. I don't remember how many years he's been there. But when he only had 2 winning seasons since he's been in at Maryland, it's got to be
something like that.
It's something along 3.
It's not pretty, but when people try to compare the two between Shane and Locksley, Shane has way more ranked wins over ranked opponents. That he's been in the postseason a handful. Obviously bowl games, but still, and he showed promise. Right now, if you look at the recruiting rankings out there, Maryland is nowhere near South Carolina in the recruiting rankings. A lot of schools aren't, honestly. South Carolina finished in front of Clemson. That's people love bringing that up. People love bringing about the old boys in the upstate and where they finish. Well, they finished behind South Carolina recruiting for the 26 class. And by the way, there could be some big stones falling down there soon. I'm just going to let you know.
Oh, here's Locksley right here. Locksley was 1-5, 3-9, 2-3, 7-6, 8-5, 8-5, 4-8, 4-8.
So you had 2 losing seasons in a row, and that's considered, hey, we'll bring you back. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him.
15, 19, and 20 were all losing seasons. He was 1-5, 3-9, 2-3, and then he went 4-8, 4-8. And the highest win total he's ever had is 8 wins. Shane Beamer's had 9.
Yeah.
In a regular season. So, what are we doing?
Oh, no, I agree. Couple questions are being asked on Facebook. Obviously, here's we appreciate y'all tuning in on Facebook, YouTube, X, all that good stuff live. Question come up: do you think that Beamer assigns current players to hang around certain recruits during visits? Absolutely, just like Steve Spurrier would do when he was at South Carolina. Sean Elliott should continue to be O-line coach. I mean, Sean did a great job when he was at South Carolina under Spurrier. I think we can all agree on that. And for people that want to lash out at Sean about the way this offensive line performed after Lonnie, I don't think it's fair to him because you could put, the old terminology, you could put lipstick on a pig, but at the end of the day, it's still a pig.
Yep.
There were guys on that offensive line that just should not have been out there.
Some that should.
No, it absolutely. There should have been some out there that should have been on the field that weren't. It's very frustrating. But this offseason, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt to get something figured out, to get the right people in there, get the right pieces in there. You've got a great guys in the recruiting class that can honestly go in and make a difference right away if they get the weight on them in time. Darius Gray, right? Zion, those guys right there. You've got your moving pieces. Now just hit the portal strong. You know what you need. Get in there. Don't be afraid to spend money. Because if you want to use the P word, you want to use playoff Shane, you know what you need to do.
That's facts.
I'm not saying spend it on every position, but the certain ones that you need that help with, get that extra dollar. Whatever it takes, get that extra dollar to make it happen. So we don't have to have this conversation, 8-9 months from now. Well, what are we doing, right? What's going on?
I agree.
That's my spiel on that. OC wise, Q. We kind of talked about it a little bit there. It's
just ODU. Like ODU. Offense coordinator Decker. Beck out of Utah has been mentioned, and I think there's mutual interest there. I think a lot of things just got to be worked out with that one. But if we are able to get him, I mean, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It's going to be huge. And you also got ECU, got Baker. I think he's in the running. I'm intrigued to see how that one plays out. I'm not completely sold at it. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he's a top choice yet. I just think there's a lot there.
No, there is. And here's the thing, Q. There are more and more OC openings happening all over the country right now because either they're taking a job as an HC somewhere, or they're taking an OC job somewhere else, or they go in the NFL. I mean, there are so many things, so many moving pieces. However, South Carolina, they just cannot wait on this. They have to act sooner than later to get their guy in place because who knows what happens after the playoffs is over, right?
Things get ugly then.
I mean, things continue it's a constant coaching carousel. People say, "Oh, we're done." The regular season's over with. We're far from done, guys.
No, we just started.
Anything can happen. Yeah, anything can happen during the playoffs and after.
But you need it because you got this portal is going to be intriguing, and you got to be able to get there. So,
yeah, you have to. So you can also attack that transfer portal class early and often, right?
And retain your guys.
Are you going to be looking for another running back out of the portal? Obviously, you're not taking one out of high school, so probably, yes, you are.
Yeah.
And there are going to be some good pieces out there. You might be able to get a guy like Ahmad Hardy, right? If you put in the right work, the right research, you get in there and watch the film, get the right guy in early.
I agree.
But either way, Q, you and I are going to be discussing 3 new coaches at South Carolina for the 26th season.
Depending on what else happens, if not more, we'll have to see.
So it's going to be definitely interesting. Already, Q, we had a couple guys hit the portal. Obviously, Nick Sharp being the transfer from Wake Forest. He's going to be a grad transfer. He's got 1 year left. And Xavier Hardy, which I really wanted to see more from Xavier. I'm not going to lie. It's unfortunate.
You got to want it for yourself. We can't want it more for you. Then you got to want it for yourself. So.
Correct. And when you're only showing in one game, and that game was Coastal Carolina,
the writing was on the wall. The writing was on the wall.
Not a great look, man.
Which I hate because I know how talented the cat is. I've seen him play. He is extremely disruptive and talented, but you got to put it together all week, not just one. You want to just do it on game day. It's not how it works.
No, not at all. So we'll see. It's going to be an interesting offseason. We'll see who else hits the portal. But like I said, our main guys, I just don't see them leaving. Could I see a certain name pop into the portal? I could, because of playing time that we saw this year. I mean, it's not going to be too big of a surprise when it happens. And I'll leave it at that for now, Q. I'll leave it at that. So
we'll see.
We'll see. Well, Q, let's go ahead. We'll talk about Gamecock basketball, men's and women's side. I want to start out on the men's side. Quite frankly, the Gamecocks, they have not been doing themselves any favors right now. And you had winnable games against Butler and Northwestern out there at the Greenbrier. Winnable games there.
Virginia Tech.
Yep. Couldn't get it done. Virginia Tech, you had a huge winnable game that night.
I just think we just got to get better with transitional defense. Guys just got to be aware. Lamont's drawing it up. I mean, he can't execute for you, and I really mean that as God's my witness. You guys got to look at it from he cannot do anything about it if they're not executing. So I don't know what else to say.
That one play with Capich, like, what are we doing? Like, you hesitate and you get blocked.
Like, you pump fake 3 times for what, bro?
Buddy, you're a senior. Like, this should not be happening, right? This should not be. This should not be happening. Michi, what are we doing in regulation? You have the time. You have the opportunity.
That's lack of awareness. That's something you learned sophomore, junior year. Like, that's lack of awareness.
He should be better than that because he's had better awareness at times. Yeah. He's had game winners at South Carolina.
You've got to, this is a one at this point. A lot of these losses are ones. You got to want to win. You got to want to physically get there and win the game. And I didn't see that.
I do want to shout out to a couple guys in the Elijah world, but Eli Ellis, man, he's really shown that he's coming out to play for the Gamecocks, man. And Elijah Strong continues to give that effort off the bench, and obviously, I mean, he had 17 points the other night. The night before that, he had something like that too. I mean, Elijah's coming off the bench strong.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's
and Grant Polk. I love Grant Polk's shot. Grant Polk, really want to get Trey on. We need to get him on before SEC play happens.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. We'll definitely get him on. So we'll have a shot. We'll obviously bounce back against Stetson on I believe it's Saturday. So we'll get that taken care of. Women's side of things, we haven't really talked ball since since they played Queens and blew them out. But obviously, a neutral court in Las Vegas, they beat Duke 83-66, and then ultimately lose to Texas 66-64, which Old Acre continues to be Old Acre and get away with murder on that court, by the way. Murder on the court.
Not even just that. That game was – I say it was needed, but at the same time, I got some questions about some of them calls. You guys did – what it was you didn't want them to take Booker completely out the game, which I get. That's the main player, whatever. But I think that showed you those girls are not all the way ready to play yet, and they will. They will literally be – they'll be ready. When the next time they play – that's why you didn't see Don get upset. The next time they play Texas, they will be 100% ready. Yeah. I think Texas knows they will be 100% ready.
Yeah.
So
– That game is not an indictment of how this team's how it's going to go the rest of the year.
Yeah, and they're currently playing Louisville right now. Louisville's up 1, but well, actually, South Carolina's up 2 because Texas hit a 3. But that's going to be another good test for them. They need these ranked games. I think it's great for Don because that's how you make a championship run. Knowing what happens, knowing how to beat adversity, that's what it takes. So.
Yeah, and LSU can brag about being number 1, but they have played absolutely nobody.
Oh, they're playing Duke tonight, so we're gonna see what happens.
Yep.
They better beat Duke they better score 100 and beat Duke by 100 like they've been beating everybody else since they're so good.
That's a fact.
And Fuwali better have 50 of the 100 points.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Or lies will be told if they're not, I tell you what.
Yeah. I got questions after that.
So I don't know, man. Yeah, that for that game against Texas left a bad taste in our mouths. But I think we respond tonight against Louisville and obviously go the rest of the way. We'll do what we need to do, and then we'll see
Yep.
Texas again. So that's going to happen. Q, I want to shout out a couple guys in the NFL. I love giving those out, but shout out to Nicky Manwari, man. He was Defensive Player of the week 2 weeks ago, I believe it was. Rookie of the week. So congratulations to him. Nicky Man doing his thing. Kai Kroger continues to tear it up with the Saints, unfortunately, because of bad QB play, but not Spencer Rattler, by the other guy. So, by Tyler Shugg. So, unfortunately, Spencer hadn't seen the field since. He's been benched, but Tyler Shugg is not doing himself any favors. And Ben Spencer could be back in that position soon if things keep going the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
J.C. Horn, a 2-interception game, not last game, but the game before that, 2 interceptions.
Oh, for sure. He's cooking. He's been cooking, bro.
Ernest Jones, another 2-interception performance, by the way, last game. How about that? And then shout out to DJ Wanham. DJ Wanham recovered the fumble on a forced fumble last week against the boys, the LA Rams. And well, I got to tell you, that play about sealed it up for the Panthers in that massive win. So
you're right. Okay. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the guys.
Shout out to the boys, man. They're doing their thing. They're doing their thing. So, and Deebo Samuel had a clutch catch the other night that helped them win in overtime. So, yeah, gotta keep rolling, man. Keep rolling, but that's all you can do, man. I mean, we're not far away from the old baseball season starting. We're not far away.
Yeah, shout out to softball. Shout out to softball. I don't care about baseball.
Shout out to Coach Woodard and doing what she's done.
Shout out to my coach, Coach Woodard.
Shout out to Coach Woodard. And like I said, we'll see where the baseball season goes. Q actually hates everything about Paul Mainieri, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm not
big facts.
Too fond of the guy myself, just from things we heard in the off season, and there was a lot of smoke to those fires, man. I hate to say it, but there was so much smoke to the fires of things we heard in the off season.
I seen the fire at the smoke. We've seen the fire.
Yeah.
Which we seem to not fire, dude. So that's the problem.
Yeah.
But we move. We continue to move. So, but I would say, guys, keep your eyes peeled. If something happens, there will be a Spaces Up this weekend. If something does happen, if we do get the OC hire taken care of, which I'm hearing it's a very strong possibility, we'll see.
That's it. Well, guys, appreciate y'all tuning in the Welcome On Podcast on live on YouTube, X, Facebook, all those good places there. Appreciate y'all. You can replay every episode of the Welcome On Podcast on Apple and Spotify. Guys, we will see you next time.
Peace.